Am I off base? Is it silly for me to say that if this year keeps continuing the way it is, that Domantas Sabonis at some point at the end of the year will get a couple of 10th place? Are we talking about a top 10 MVP season for Domantas at this point?
Wow, we're putting him in the MVP talk? Is that what I'm hearing here?
I'm not in any way saying he's going to win the MVP, nor should he, or finish in the top 5. But I'm saying, like, one of those, like, also voted fors.
I love you, my friend.
Here we go.
Just like, can we have some all-star consideration first? I mean, can the team make sure that it's in the top 10 first?
No.
What are you doing? You're the biggest homer I've ever come across right now.
He's Diet Jokic. There's no one else. He's the closest we're getting to Nikola Jokic right now. 20, and 5 here, there, twice, and the Kings are putting out numbers. And I know it's cherry picking stats and all that, but okay, what about? Go ahead.
He's Will Chamberlain.
He may not be. Or is Will Chamberlain him? But I'm trying to say here, he might be having his best year of his career other than scoring. Right? I said the other day, he does everything as good or better than Chris Webber did at this point except scoring, and I got absolutely murdered by the fan base. But I think he's having a really good season.
Well, yeah, you deserve to get murdered again a little bit. No, he's having – I mean, I'll say this. It's cliche, but it's true. Like, the Kings' mentality right now, with good reason, is, win games, get in the playoffs, everything else takes care of itself. And it's funny, players have been saying that forever. For some reason, in my head, Mike Bibby is the one, like back in the day, because remember, he would always want to be an all-star, but never was.
Yes.
Like Mike, Mike was always like, that would be his standard response, is like, we win, and the individual stuff takes care of itself. I don't know what that looks like for Sabonis, but yes, if they get in the playoffs, and he has these kinds of numbers and it's consistent, and over the course of time, people start looking at the Jokic context and things like that, he's going to get a ton of love. I don't know what it'll look like, but he is absolutely playing fantastic basketball.
Easy question for you. I'm not trying to be specific or anything, but obviously the Kings probably need more size down low. Who are they going to trade for now that everyone's available? Specifically.
I really need a longer question there as the children get out of the car. Do you have any?
Sam, I'll reset it. Sam Amick of The Athletic joining us. Sam, always on top of the heartbeat of the National Basketball Association. So with so many people being eligible to be traded and the Kings obviously making a push towards the playoffs, nay, a championship, who specifically will Monte McNair trade for at some point this season to bolster the team's chances? Go.
I made you repeat a question that I still don't have an answer to, so you're welcome. I've had this like prototype player in my head for a while, which is also not, doesn't add to the conversation much because he's not available, but like Jeremy Grant has always been like the type of guy that I thought would fit in well with this team. They need, they need wings, they need versatility, they need some rim protection. So I don't know who that looks or what that looks like and who they might be targeting. They also have a predicament of, and we've talked about it before, but like, okay, how are you going to pursue that type of a guy? Specifically the Harrison Barnes quandary, where going into the year, people thought because of his expiring contract, he could be on the move, but he's a pretty important part of their team right now. So, we are always surprised by stuff that develops trade-wise, but in the early going, I just have a hard time seeing what the Kings have of value that they are prepared to part ways with, to get the types of piece or pieces that they're looking for.
I know we're running over, but I'll ask you this. To you, I don't know. You got Rashawn Holmes, obviously is lost out here. Whether it's here, I imagine every year every team comes up with the platter that they the fans think is worth something. But honestly, with the Kings, it's a give to get type of thing. I expect they'd have to give up a bit more than some of that to get an impact.
Yeah, I mean, Holmes with the money is that's just not a great contract based on what people have been able to see from him recently. they've been so good offensively. Do they like a Terrence Davis comes to mind? He's had some really, really good moments. He can be explosive. So, does that, if you think you can survive without having that much depth offensively, then does he help you get somewhere? I don't know, but it's early. December 15th, as you know, is a big date where it kind of kicks up a little bit, where a lot more trade scenarios are on the table. So I just don't have a great read for it at this point. But it's kind of born out of the fact that it's just if they drop a bunch of games, then everything I said goes out the window.
Sure.
And they get desperate. If they're winning, I think they're gonna be extremely careful about rocking the boat.
That is Sam Amick, NBA writer, Sacramento Bee. Will Domantas Sabonis get MVP votes? Sam did not say no. Stay tuned for that. We will.
Let me just put it this way. Listen, his numbers are great.
Yeah.
Jason Tatum was 6th in the NBA last year in MVP voting. And I guess the only point there is top 10, you at least gave me a bigger number than 5.
Yeah.
But that's some rarefied air. So it's not a slight to Sabonis at all to hesitate to put him there. And you're right. His production, all around, I said to someone the other day, he's like Vlade with muscles.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, when we hang up at some point, when you get some time, go look at Weber's age 26 season with the Kings and Sabonis's age 26 season with the Kings. Just look across the board and you let me know how crazy I am. I'm telling you.
Well, and even, I'll look at the Jokic stuff too. Jokic is leading the league in PER, either first or second. I think Anthony Davis is also top 2.
Yeah.
But I'll say this much. I know we got to run, but I have no problem admitting time and again, like I was wrong about him. I thought he was good. I didn't think he was this good. And going into the year, if you asked me if I thought the Pacers trade was going to pay off, I was leaning pretty heavily towards no.
Sure.
But if this is who he's going to be during the prime of his career, then, that's a welcome development for Sacramento.
I just renewed my subscription for the year to The Athletic, both of them. As a matter of fact, there's Christmas deals going on right now where you can too. Folks like Matt Barrows, of course, our good friend Sam Amick, who we talk about every Thursday, and you can read all of Sam's content from the podcast with Mo, amongst others, to his upcoming apology to Monte McNair by Christmas. It's Sam Amick, everybody, and we appreciate your time, pal. Thank you.
All right, my friend.
All right, take care. Bye-bye. I wonder if he heard the apology thing and just knew we were out of time. I don't know. We'll take a break. When we return,